Hello and hi everyone. Welcome to your Daily Sister podcast channel. Today I am your host Afika and we have Nabila,
Hi everyone.
Arisha,
Hi.
Shamila,
Hello.
and since today I will be recording the last episode, so it will be a little bit special. We have a guest Akmal.
Hello everyone.
So Nabila, since he's a friend of yours, so why don't you ask him to introduce himself?
Okay, so Akmal, why don't you say which university are you from and your full name, so that an achievements that you've achieved so far throughout online classes.
Okay, very good evening to everyone. My name is Akmal Harik bin Ahmad Faizal. You can call me Akmal and I'm from University of Malaya. Currently, I am studying Bachelor's in Biomedical Science and throughout online learning, I can say I'm doing pretty well. So that's about it.
Okay, so without wasting any more time, today we will be talking about online studies. So before we start, I'm going to give a little bit of insight on online studies. Okay, we all know that because of COVID-19, online learning has become the new norm for us to allow a more flexible learning style, and face-to-face classes need to be avoided to help curb the rise of cases of COVID-19. So let's jump straight into the first question, which is, in your opinion, which is the toughest part of online learning? Why don't we start with Nabila?
Okay. In my opinion, the toughest thing about online studies is that there is quite a lot of things going on, actually. I don't know if it's just me, but the workload from online studies is a whole lot more if it's to be compared with physical classes. The take-home exams are way harder than to be compared to the normal physical face-to-face exams, because we could literally go through our notes, but and Google some stuff. But obviously, there are things that couldn't be Google, so we're just gonna rack through our brains and just answer those questions. And also for like assignments, I would say that when assignments replace exams, they are like 10 times harder, 10 times more than the weightage or the workload for physical classes, I would say. That's the toughest thing for me, because I would say that I am a big ass procrastinator. So being a procrastinator, it's hard for me to keep up with things and stuff. Yeah, that's kind of it.
Okay, Shamila, what is the toughest part of online learning for you?
So the toughest part for me is actually the time management, because there's always like I have saying that if only I had more time, I knew I would ace this assignment. And then actually I think that we have all thought this at one point. And time management is actually for students is actually a universal problem. And right now, me myself, I am at college at UKM physically, so I am also a student executive here. So truthfully, I was really struggling to manage my time between my workload as a student executive and also as a student. And also deciding to do which one first has always been my dilemma for actually at least 5 months. And especially during this online learning, even though it is more flexible, as in we can have our classes at anywhere anytime, but the cons is the students here is actually always at college all the time, and they always need help for many kind of problems. So at one point, I actually was burnt out, but luckily I've get back to my feet. And also, actually, the core problem is actually my time management itself. So I think that is the toughest part for me, like to balance out my workload and also to balance my time management. That's all.
Thank you for your opinion. Arisha, what about you?
I think for me, the toughest thing about online learning is that you are hard to focus. I mean, there is so many distractions, so many things to do, but so little motivation, you know. You can hear your siblings playing outside the room, you can hear the television, then you want to take a 15-minute break, for example. Suddenly you come across a new movie trailer or a new K-drama poster, and the next thing you know is that you have spent 2 hours on it. So this is when you have to set your priority right and remind yourself over and over again that studying is worth it and it's gonna benefit you sooner or later.
Okay, Akmal, our guest, any opinion why online learning is hard for you?
Okay, before I answer, I want to say sorry because if you can hear the piano in the background, because my sister is playing. So yes, I'm going
Alright, it's okay.
straight to my answer. The toughest thing about online learning would be I feel like I'm becoming lazier each day because it's just on screen. So I can wake up late and for example, when the class starts at 10, sometimes I wake up at 10 also and just open my phone and just listen to the lecture. So I become lazier. Sometimes I wake up even late and tend to miss classes. And even though there are a lot of assignments, like one of you have said, and the difficulty to balance between time management, I can't deny the fact that I'm still a little bit lazy to complete all those works. I have to admit I'm not a procrastinator, but somehow during this online learning, I tend to procrastinate too a lot, and I usually did my work with my friends during last minute. And one more thing, what I find difficult is some courses from my university, the lecturers did not give proper guidance for my assignment, and they are not responsive. When my batch asks the lecturer, what are we going to do with this, for example, portfolio, and he did not give any response until maybe like 2 days before we need to submit. So that's another problem. The lecturers does not know how to guide us through this online platform. So those are one of the challenges that I have faced so far.
Yeah, I agree with all of those points. So personally, for me, it's also time management because we don't have to wake up early for classes. So I can sleep as late as I wanted, like at 4 a.m. and then I wake up at 8 a.m. and just join the class. But I don't have to focus anything because I can just watch the recorded video later. So since we talk about the toughest part, in your opinion, what are the tips and tricks that we can do in order to help us overcome the problems? Why don't we start with Shamila?
For me, the tips that I already did is actually we need to change our perspective towards these online courses. We need to treat online courses as a real course, as we be there and be physically there. When it comes to online classes, we actually need to have a discipline to sit down and actually say, I am going to work on this, and as well as the dedication to actually follow through with this. And when we have this mentality, actually with the simple things like we wake up early and then like actually be prepared and like wear proper clothes, like actually we were going to class. So actually it can be a motivation for us to actually have a more enthusiasm to like be in the class. And actually I always adore our host Afika, because she is always one of the students, one of the active students
Exactly.
in actually
I sleep at 4 a.m.
but she always participate in classes, always answer what the lecturer said. So it gave me motivation to actually be like her and actually treat this online courses more seriously. So that is one tip. Yeah, that's it for me.
Role model.
Maybe the tips is by who is sleeping at 4 a.m.
Maybe. Tips and tricks.
Thank you, I guess. Okay. Okay, Nabila, what about you? What are the tips and tricks that you use in order to help you with online learning, or do you not have one?
Actually, to be honest, I would say that my tips and tricks to cope with online learning is that to always keep track on things that I'm currently working on, like anything, any work or assignments that I need to do. I always keep a reminder on things, and then I would always like list for each courses, what are the requirements that we need to achieve, so that I know what should be done and what should not, and also always like write everything on a planner to meet deadlines and stuff, because it's easy for us to get lost and to forget the deadlines once, like when the lecturer remind us on WhatsApp, for example, and people would message all through the WhatsApp groups, and we tend to forget the deadlines. So always to keep track on the deadlines, and always, this is the number one key, is to tell your friends or family around on the things that you need to do. I always like tell my friends and my mother especially to always constantly remind me, so that we have people that we can hold on to in case something like anything happens to us. So always tell them. So that's it, I guess.
Okay, thank you for your answer. Arisha, what about you?
For me, it is important to figure out how you learn best. Think about how you accomplish your best work. If maybe you're a morning person, make time to study the first thing. You are more of a night owl, set aside an hour or two after dinner to cozy up to your computer. I mean, not everyone learn the same way. So if you are a visual learner, for example, print out transcript of video lectures to review. Or you learn best by listening, make sure to build time into your schedule to play and replay all the audio and video recording. And next, always leave room for error. Something might come up in the middle of a course or an unexpected deadline at work. Try to leave yourself a little wiggle room so that you can accommodate those unexpected setbacks.
Okay, thank you. What about our special guest, Akmal? Any tips that you use to help you with online learning?
Okay, one of the tips that I personally use is firstly to be aware and attentive of your own schedule. Okay, for me, the first thing I did when the semester started, I screenshot the timetable from each of my courses and paste it in OneNote, so it's easier for me to review back the timetable from time to time, so I can make out the classes, when are the classes, when should I submit the assignment. So I myself should be aware. And next, I also need to start to focus on WhatsApp groups and Telegrams. Before this, I kind of not really focusing on those groups because they keep spamming work, and I'm kind of pissed because there's too much work. And now for my own sake, I will read all those WhatsApp group messages and even Telegram. Sometimes the notification on Telegram doesn't pop up, so I regularly open it right now. So I am aware of those works. And secondly, is to make time between relaxing and doing your work, because it's online learning, so there's actually a lot of time. All of you must have experienced that. There's too much time actually. Time for games, time for movies, and as I said before, I'm not a procrastinator that much, so I make sure I did some of my work around 80% or 90% before the day I must submit. So I must complete most of the work before the day that I need to submit it, so that I don't feel anxious about not completing it in time, and I can feel relaxed after I've done my work. So that's about it, the tips that I apply to myself.
Thank you for your answer. Well, as for me, I've always used this technique even before online learning started, which is the Pomodoro Technique. You can just look it up at YouTube. For me, it's important to keep track the amount of hours that I've used to study, so that I will not feel guilty if I spend my time later on watching TV shows or whatsoever, because I know that I have spent like maybe 6 hours of studying, so I can just do whatever I want after that. Plus, I also like told myself if I sleep in the morning for 2 hours during the time which I initially planned to study, then I will replace back the 2 hours at night so that I can always have the same amount of hours that I used to study each day. Okay, well, that's
And
for
then the
me.
cycle repeats.
Yeah,
And then the cycle
because in my
repeats
opinion, I feel
itself.
like yes, in for online learning you have a lot of time, but for those who do not know how to manage their time well, like me, instead of using my time to do the things that I like, I get worried and I tend to worry more about the hours that I use to study. I feel like there's no stop. I just need to study and study because I get worried easily. So yeah, using the Pomodoro technique, at least I know when I should stop studying and I can start enjoying myself because I overthink a lot. So yeah. Okay, now let's jump to the next part, which is the best part of online learning. In your opinion, since okay, there's like a bad side, some good sides of online learning. Since we already talked about the bad sides, why don't we talk about the good sides of online learning? So why don't we start with Arisha this time? In your opinion, what is the best part of online learning personally for you?
Best part of online learning for me, what I love the most is its flexibility, where I can choose when I want to study, what I want to learn today, and for example, if something come up, I can always stop and continue with it later. I can choose to learn by reading the materials given or by hearing the lectures. I can also choose to use interactive videos or even through gamification at any times I want. So it is up to us to decide what we want to study and everything. So yeah, I love that.
Okay, same. Honestly, in my opinion, also one of the best part of online learning is definitely the flexibility, since we don't have to physically focus in class and we can just watch the pre-recorded lecture later. Okay, what about you, Nabila?
Honestly, I'm like the same with you both. Like I could literally study at my own pace. Like whenever, even though because most of my classes is at 8 a.m. So definitely it's not like I'm gonna wake every single day before 8 a.m.
What?
Right?
What?
Excuse me. So obviously, like, I would take some time if I missed like the classes at eight in the morning. I would obviously could rewatch those classes, and also I could literally save time, like from walking to class. Instead, we were just like gonna walk from our bed to our study table. So that saves us time. And yeah, I love is that the flexibility lah, the flexibility itself. Like I could wear my pajamas to class, and no one knows. So I feel happy about that, and we could literally participate in every classes without the lecturer knowing who we are. It's just like our voices. We could just literally unmute and then okay, Nur Nabila, please answer the question. Okay, and then I would, all right. So that's it, without feeling so shy or ashamed, and it. So yeah, that's about it. I like it, but not so much the workload.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely, the other best part is, personally for me, it's you don't have to be that confident for online classes because no one really knows who you are when you're answering the question. Because let's be real here, not everyone's pay attention to the class, so you can just answer without having to worry you said something wrong and everyone, I don't know, will probably laugh at you or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, since you said that we can just wear pajamas to our class and no one will know, here's one of the funny best part, I guess, that I used to talk with my friend, which is when it's online learning, you can just mute yourself, right? You can fart whenever you want.
Yeah. Yeah. I could
That's
go
your main
pee.
concern.
I could go pee, and I could even go to take a bath while waiting for my classes. Or when even it's like, oh, the lecturer is stuck And then I would
While waiting or while the class is going?
oh no, while the class is going.
Both.
Sorry.
You can have as much as freedom as you want.
Yeah.
There's no any consent here. So, Shamila, what about you?
Okay, so for me, actually the most best part for online learning is actually we have recorded lectures. It's actually an amazing gift. I think this COVID have given to me, because recorded lectures actually really help me to like studying for finals, especially because we are possible to like rewatch the lectures and also study again, and can be a good material as in we can watch our lectures not like physically, but at least we can watch our lectures teach one by one, and we can also like can speed things up or slow it down. So like it's actually a gift for us, for me especially, when I also need to juggle my time management. These things can help me to like very study to help me study smartly, so that I can manage my time properly. So other than that, we also like when in recorded lectures, we also are able to like choosing courses more freely, because in UKM all of us have Chitra, right? So when we're talking about Chitra, it's actually I think one of the factors or one of the concern if we are not in online learning phase, we need to consider the place
Location.
of the place of our class, because last time I think when we were in semester 1, the first semester, there's actually one incident that we accidentally choose the class. We don't know where is it, so we just choose it because it's have the availability to choose. So it's actually very far away from our block, from the mathematics building, and it's actually make things harder that semester. So when we have this online learning, we no need to be like worry about when we want to go, we need to run for the bus, or we might get late to class. Or it's actually a very good pros in recorded lectures and also online learning. So I think that's all from me.
OMG, I'm missing running to the bus.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then when you run to the bus stop, and then the
I
bus
do not
The
miss
bus
you.
got away.
the bus is gone.
Yeah, okay, Akmal, what about you? What do you love about online learning?
Okay, since some of you have mentioned about flexibility and recorded lecture, I think from me, I would say there's no final. What about you guys? Do you guys have finals too?
Obviously, we have finals.
Okay,
For certain
so
subjects, not all.
so for UM, every course right now is just an alternative assignment. So there's actually no final, no sitting in your laptop for 2 hours answering your
Should we
paper.
sign up to change university right now?
So I think that's one of the advantages for this semester. Last semester it was not applied. It's newly applied to this one. So yeah, on the downside there will be a lot of assignments to make up for that, and but I prefer that way. So I don't have to study like a lot just for the final. So right now I'm on week 14, and I can say that I'm kind of chilling, and almost of my assignments have done, and only a few I've not completed. And one more I want to add is maybe I can see the improvement of the teamwork between my friends. From our first semester when we are still learning at campus, we still do have assignments, but I think most of us tend to do it individually unless it's a group project. But somehow during this semester, even individual assignments, me and my friends would kind of discuss and help each other, and I can definitely feel that we help on one another and it eases our work. So I think that's all I have to say about my experience.
Oh my god, I'm so jealous, literally, because we're gonna have exams, like 4 hours of exams next 2 weeks,
Yes.
and I'm dying. I'm superly dying right
It's
now.
itchy right now,
Good luck
okay?
lah.
Yeah,
And
Definitely.
he's
It's 14
kidding.
and he have nothing to do.
We're going to die.
Oh my God.
See, if UKM students do not have finals, that will be the thing that we'll be talking first in this session. But since we actually have finals, yeah,
There's
we leave that
nothing
part
much to
to
be
you.
talked about. Literally.
I agree with what Shamila said about having to choose the courses that are far from your place about the location, because before we need to consider is there an 1 hour gap between the classes, where is the location, but now we can just choose the class that actually overlap with each other and still do not have to worry about that because we have the pre-recorded lecture and the classes are conducted online, so we can just stay in our room in the comfort of our room in front of our laptop, even on our bed, whatever you prefer, and we can still actually join the class. We do not have to worry about how we look or and other things like that. So since we have talked about the toughest part, the tips and tricks, the best part, so overall, in your opinion, do you think that online learning is actually effective? Maybe for you, or maybe you can just answer in general, is it effective for everyone else? Why don't we start with Nabila?
Honestly, I could say that online learning is definitely effective because I could see it through my grades. My grades improve like not like gradually. Shut up! Oh my God, my grades literally increase like not gradually. It increased drastically. Maybe not for this sem, but we'll see. Like for the last semester, it was good. It was good. Online classes is one of the blessings for 2020, though that people would say that online classes is like a flop or such, but I just don't like the workload. But other than that, the recording is literally a deal breaker. I would say that it's effective as it is, maybe for some classes, but it actually depends on your lecturer. If your lecturer is good, and then they're good, then the classes is effective as it is. But if the lecturer is like couldn't handle those online classes, then I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for that subject. Literally, I would say that if it's like live online classes versus pre-recorded online classes, I would prefer pre-recorded online classes, because if it's a live online classes, it's like if I miss a thing during that class, then I have to like rewatch it again. But if it's like pre-recorded, I could literally pause and then write my notes at my own pace. That's because that's a subject that it's pre-recorded, and I love the doctor so much, and I miss that vibe. Okay, that I think that it's, in conclusion, I would say that it's effective as it is, and I couldn't imagine if for the next semester how we're gonna cope like face to face, because obviously we're gonna have to wear masks, and then we're gonna like social distancing each other, and it's gonna be tough because I'm gonna literally be super sleepy during class, and who's gonna like wake me up, and then the lecturer could easily point, hey, you there, why are you sleeping with the mask on? Maybe I should wear a mask on my eyes. So I should bring a sleeping mask, literally. Okay, I think that's it for me.
Okay, what about our guest?
Okay, since you asked if this online learning is effective, I must say it is effective to some extent. So as I've mentioned earlier, I'm a student of biomedical science, so there will be a lot of theories regarding biology. So that's the part when it's effective, just learning about the theory. But for the work scope, I will be doing work in labs, such as doing pipettes and stuff like that, viewing the microscope, and honestly, that's what I'm afraid, because there's no practice regarding that, and I might be afraid if when I go to work, I did not know how to use those apparatus properly. So that's when it becomes less effective regarding this online learning. And for labs, we still have lab session for this semester, but our lecturers gave pre-recorded video about doing dissection on animals. So we just watched. We did not experience dissecting the animal ourselves, and we did not calculate about their heart pressure, about their blood pressure, heart rate, things like that. So it's not really practical for lab works and for our jobs in the future. So that's my opinion regarding the effectiveness on online learning.
Okay, what about you, Arisha?
I guess the answer is it depends. I mean, I personally want to agree because what Nabila said, but then when I heard our guest say, I guess yes, it depends. I mean, whether the online or face to face, it all depends on you, especially the first. Your motivation, your willingness, and your effort. But then when we are talking about learning, it depends on your environment as well, your internet connection, your device, and I said the course you are taking. If you need to have lab session, it's gonna be hard. So yeah, I think the effectiveness is subjective. Some people might learn best via online. Some people still prefer face to face. So yeah, I guess it depends.
What about you, Shamila?
So for me, the conclusion, they actually is online learning effective. For me, it's not as effective as I was having face-to-face classes. Because I'm the type of person that need to be forced to be in class, and also need to be forced to follow the schedule, and also need to be forced to actually and be attentive towards what the lecturer said. So when we're having online learning, is actually there's a lot of freedom that make me feel I am able to do whatever I want. So I miss my physical classes, and when I'm looking forward to having online learning hybrid with this physical classes this March. And despite that also, when I was in college right now, when we are handling the students, actually as an executive student, we are looking at students' perspective, where we see that some students don't have actually the facility or the accessibility to like having very smoothly online learning. So actually in Malaysia, I think it's not as effective as it could be, because we actually don't have the facility yet for everyone. Maybe some of us yes, but most of us do not. Doesn't have that. So but personally for me is I really miss my face to face class, and this online learning have the pros and also have the cons of it. So I think that's all for me.
Well, I agree with your point, Shamila. For me, I consider myself as an introvert. So honestly, online classing is such a blessing for me because I don't have to actually interact with people face to face on daily basis. I can just talk to them through screen. But I think for me to say it is effective for me is such a privilege, because not everyone has the privilege to actually enjoy the benefits of online classes, because not everyone have good environment at home. They could be having family problems, internet problems, and everything, which makes it hard for them to actually enjoy online classes. Maybe it's even harder for them to study because their family do not understand the situation of online classes, because online classes is actually the same as physical classes. You still have to attend your class, you still have to study. There's even more assignment that you need to do. So yeah, it is a luxury for us to be able to enjoy online classes, because it is quite hard for people out there to actually enjoy. They even got some their mental health could be affected because they cannot enjoy their online classes and so on. So yeah, I think to answer if it is effective, it actually depends on the person and their current situation. If they're enjoying online classes because they could do many sort of things, it is effective for them. But if they cannot enjoy online classes because they're having a lot of problems. So it's kind of bad for them because, as we all know, not all lecturers understand student situation, and sometimes it's just hard to explain to people why you're having these kind of problems. So yeah, I think it's really a privilege if we can actually say we enjoy online classes. But personally, for me, it's effective because of my situation right now. I don't have to talk to people. I pretty much love that, and I am not looking forward to going back to university this much.
Same.
I I prefer to stay in my own room. Besides, I cannot imagine how will the situation be in March, the management, and just having to share my private space with people again, such as the toilet, the room. It's kind of a nightmare because it is not the norm here right now. So
I mean, try imagine you have to social distancing in bus. How?
yeah,
I mean,
it's quite hard.
bus.
That's a horror. I just miss my friends, not the
No, we
condition
did not
there.
miss you. We
Okay,
did not
bye.
miss you.
Okay, okay.
Okay, I think we have covered all part today, which is the toughest parts, the tips and tricks that we can use to help with online learning, the best part, and whether it's effective or not. So in conclusion, I say we had a pretty good talk with each other for this session. So
Yes.
okay, I would also like to thank our special guest Akmal for willing to come here and spend time with us to talk about this.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
No
Sorry
worries.
for our sloppiness. And
It's okay. It's fine actually. You made the whole.
Process, learning
I'll
process.
treat you later. I'll treat you later.
I want also. Treat me
No thanks
also.
for you. You don't miss me, so you're excluded.
Okay, let's end this session.
Okay. Thank you everyone for watching the third and the last episode of your Daily Sister podcast channel, because this is actually for our assignment. Thank you so much for those who have helped us answer the Google Forms and everything. It actually helped us a lot. Honestly, thank you so much. Without people who answer our Google Form, I don't think we can actually do this assignment.
Yep.
It's been quite fun, I guess, to actually talk in English, like in this way, because starting a podcast channel has definitely been one of the things that I actually wanted to do. So this assignment has given me the opportunity to actually check that off my list.
Maybe we should make this weekly or even monthly.
It depends on our
Maybe,
schedule.
maybe.
So
Yeah, maybe. In a month.
any of you, Nabila, Aisha, Shamila, do you have any last word before we actually end this session? Since it's the final episode after all.
I would
Anyone?
say. Okay, let me say. I just want to thank everyone. Afika has said that, but I just want to thank everyone, and it has been fun because it's been fun because this is the first time we do it together. Like before this, we just doing it separately. So I had fun today, though it has been tough. This course has been tough. This assignment has been tough, but I feel so good today. It's not like every day we're talking in English with our family, like a very well versed English. It's not like hello everybody, and no, it's today has been fun. Like it's like I wanted to start something together with my friends, and yeah, it's been achieved. So that's all. Thank you everyone. Thank you our audiences, our target audiences, which is the general public. Okay, so thank you.
Shabila, do you have any last words?
My last word, just thank you everyone. Thank you Akmal, thank you Nabila, thank you Arisha, thank you Afika for actually we did it, this daily sister podcast, and also actually this project make me more miss my friend, and I miss you guys, and I hope to see you guys soon. That's all.
But Nabila doesn't want to see you.
Hello. I want to see people, but I don't want to go back to university. We said that we
Okay.
wanted to go to Sabah together that day.
I think before we actually talk about things that are not related to this episode, I think we better stop now. So thank you everyone for watching this. Maybe if we have more time or maybe we feel like doing this again, we will see you guys later. But for now, thank you very much and goodbye.
Bye.